Right. So good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
All right. So remember, we keeping the mics on mute, right? Now I have 125 up. Everybody seen it?
Yep.
Good. So I will start. You guys follow, and we have a discussion. So you all know how to participate. And I sure Linda would have gone through this with you all. So if you have a question, let me know and we'll respond. Also, if you're getting problems, we're on the group chat as well and WhatsApp. So I have my phone right here with me. So if you want to ask a question, you find the WhatsApp is direct. We will work in tandem. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic. So we are on 125. Economic institutions. And we started this handout last day. So we'll jump right. We're just doing a little recap and then we'll continue. So we're talking about Caribbean Community of Common Market, CARICOM, which is something you all are familiar with. And it's something that you all know. Well, you've heard it about a lot about. A common market is an association of countries that have joined to bring about harmonious development, continuous economic expansion, and increased stability of countries involved. CARICOM was formed in July 1973 when there were 4 major countries, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and Guyana, signed the Treaty of Chaguaramas. So CARICOM was formed, and if you look at the objectives here, to basically bring about a greater standard of living. And you all know standard of living means quality of life. Okay?
Yeah.
The objectives of CARICOM were, as we said earlier, improve standard of living, expansion of trade. We wanted the countries, the Caribbean countries, to be able to trade with each other easier, right? And even trade with the outside world easier. Because what you found is that when one country were to go and trade and try to negotiate for lower prices with these larger countries, it would be difficult because you see, you would buy in small quantity. But as a Caribbean, as a group, as a body, you will be buying a lot more. And as you all know, we did economies of scale already. When you buy in bulk, you get discounts, right? Then we have joint negotiations internationally. So we can negotiate for better conditions, better terms in terms of having access to other countries, visas, and those things. Coordination and foreign economic policies. So we want to have one common economic policy for the Caribbean region instead of each Caribbean country coming up with their own policy, which will take a lot of resources away from us. And as you all know, the Caribbean region is a bit starved for resources at the moment. Full employment of labor and other factors of production. That simply means that we are fully utilizing all of our human resources to get the most that we can get out of it. So with CARICOM, the intentions of CARICOM was that you will have free movement within the Caribbean region and you'll be able to work and own property and so on. That under CARICOM took a while to come on stream. And because of that, they brought in something that we're going to look at soon called the CSME, the Caribbean Single Market and Economy. All right, so we're going on to that now. Everybody with me so far, right? Nice.
Yes, sir.
The CSME was established in 2006. So that was recently, as 2006. What were you guys doing in 2006?
Being 1 year old.
Good. All right, let me just pull up my stuff here.
So primary school, sir.
So what made the CSME a bit different is that it seeks to transform the common market into a single market and economy. Remember we said they wanted to bring it under one group, and one of the intentions of the CSME is to have one common currency for the Caribbean region to make trade easier. So it was established to deepen the integration among Caribbean states and to respond effectively to the challenges and opportunities globally. The objectives of the CSME are deepening economic integration, so we have better trade relations with our Caribbean neighbors, free trade of services. So once the goods are coming, once you're buying from another Caribbean country, right, there are no tariffs. And as you all know, a tariff is a tax placed on imported goods. Then you have free movement of capital, labor, and freedom to establish business enterprises. And I told you all this. With the CSME now, it made it a bit easier for people like myself or you guys, even entrepreneurs, to go abroad, to go to another Caribbean island and actually be employed, start open a business and start functioning and operating. Widening of membership, they're encouraging new islands to join. The common currency or single currency hasn't been realized as yet, but they are working on it. We will get there. So moving on to the Caribbean Development Bank. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, let me know, right? And we're using WhatsApp as well. So if you don't want to post up on this live stream, you can also send me a question directly via WhatsApp on the group chat. Please use the group chat. So I'm on the group chat. We'll see all the questions coming in.
Yes, sir.
The Caribbean Development Bank, the CDB for short, is a regional financial institution. It finances regional projects that contribute to the economic growth and development of the region. Sectors financed by the CDB includes, so these are some of the things that the Caribbean Development Bank will finance in your country, right? Infrastructure, roads, bridges, tourism. You want to create a deep water harbor, you want to fix up your airport for more tourist arrivals, you want to expand your hotelier industry, mining, refining, agriculture, aquaculture, there's a typo there, manufacturing, health and education, right? The objectives of the Caribbean Development Bank are supporting regional and local financial institutions, assisting borrowing member countries to optimize use of the resources. So when you borrow from them, they just don't give you the money and leave you alone. They advise you on what's the best way you can recuperate your funds, what's the best way you're going to use the funds, right? To mobilize financial resources regionally and internationally, to support capital markets, to stimulate growth, and support business activities. Because as you all know, with business activities being supported, it will help unemployment in a region as well, in a country as well. And with unemployment being reduced, then people's quality of life, their standard of living will be improved. We're going on to the World Bank. The aim of the World Bank, I remember we touched on this in class last day, so I'm moving a bit fast. The aim of the World Bank is to reduce poverty worldwide. And I want you guys to highlight that because I'm sure you're supposed to have your handouts out at present. It therefore assists developing countries by providing loans for projects such as housing, infrastructure, and industry. The World Bank provides long-term loans. Bless you. So the long-term loans that we're talking about here is for developmental purposes. That is to develop your infrastructure, right? It is used interchangeably with the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the IBRD. However, the IBRD is only one of the 5 agencies of the World Bank. So the World Bank is made up of 5 major agencies. And I listed the 5 agencies in the handout for you. There's the IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. There's the International Development Association. There's the International Finance Corporation, right? There's the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. And there's the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. What I want you all, as part of your homework, which we will look at next day, is to do some research on these 5 agencies for me, right?
Yeah. So,
And, yes?
question. For the World Bank, right? Say like if a country has a natural disaster, this is where the World Bank will come in.
It depends on the nature of the natural disaster. Remember, if you go to the World Bank for financing, it's a process. You're applying for a loan. So it won't be immediate. In terms of a natural disaster, Miguel, remember you want response almost immediately, right? There are other institutions and agencies that you can go to in terms of a natural disaster, like United Nations, and they will respond almost immediately. UNDP has a fund that they help the Caribbean countries with. So those are things you would look at, right? When you get the dispute, the disaster a bit under control, and you're starting to rebuild the country, then you can approach the World Bank and say, okay, well, we suffered a natural disaster, and we want to move forward, and we want to start to redevelop, we want to build, reconstruct our roads, reconstruct our bridges, fix our hospitals and so on. That you can go to them with. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Right. Miguel, your mic, does your mic, you're in the window something there. A lot of movement.
Yeah, so my mic was turned off.
Oh, okay. Guys, if you all have a question, you can ask it directly as Miguel. But when you finish asking your question, please turn off your mic, right? Because I'm getting a lot of static on the Right, good. Somebody, yeah, good. Now, if you ask it free, feel free to ask it. But as soon as you ask the question, put your mic on mute. All right, good. And if you're feeling shy to ask a question via the live stream here, I told you all we also have the WhatsApp group. So let's organize. Right. So we're moving on to the Inter-American Development Bank, the IADB. And the IADB was established in 1959 for the purpose of assisting Latin American and Caribbean countries. And what are some of the assistance that they offer? It offers loans, lines of credit, and technical assistance to member governments for social and economic development. And I need you all to highlight that. That's a major, major purpose that the IADB was formed for. Areas of assistance include agriculture, industry, mining, health, tourism, and infrastructure. All right. We're moving on to the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS. And the OECS was formed in 1981 for the purpose of promoting cooperation among member states. These countries include Montserrat, Anguilla, Antigua, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts, Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Anguilla, and the British Virgin Islands. I think I said Anguilla twice. Our associate members, right? So the OECS was formed because they found, these smaller Caribbean islands found that being a member of CARICOM, they were not getting the full representation that they thought they deserved. They thought the larger Caribbean countries like Trinidad, Guyana, and Jamaica were having all the weight and making all the decisions that benefited them. So because of that, these guys formed themselves into their own group, and they call themselves the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. All right. And they did something very, very successful, is that they created a single currency called the EC dollar. Right? And that is something that we're now trying to do under the CSME. Organization of American States, the OAS. The OAS was established for the main purpose of increasing interdependence and solidarity, promoting regional cooperation and peaceful settlements of disputes among member countries. These countries include North and South America, Canada, and the Caribbean. Economic Commission for Latin American Countries, the ELAC. The ELAC is another institution, was established in 1948 for the purpose of integrating Latin American countries for their development. Caribbean countries were later included in the ELAC. What I want you all to do for homework as well, you see, every single organization that we're talking about here, I want you to go and do some research on them, right? Broaden your horizon, get more information on them. Because in the handout, what we will do is we'll condense it to answer a particular question, but I need you to broaden your horizon and get more information, right? The objectives include guaranteeing equal rights and opportunities, economic integration of Latin American and Caribbean countries, reinforcing economic ties among countries of Latin America and other nations of the world, economic development of Latin American countries. And if you look at the Latin American countries, if you really research them, like Colombia and Chile and so on, what they have is back in that time, they were really, really underdeveloped. And to this day, they still have a lot of problems happening in these countries with political instability, lack of investment. And this organization was formed to try and deal with that problem, to try and encourage people, to try and get these governments to say, okay, let's stabilize the country. All right. Let's encourage people to come into the country. Let's make people want to come and invest in these countries. Association of Caribbean States, the ACS. The ACS was established in 1994 to promote cooperation among Caribbean countries. Right, so I want you to highlight that. And the main objectives. Somebody has their mic on. You need to put your mic on mute, please. Thank you. Its objectives include the strengthening of regional cooperation and integration, preserving the environmental integrity of the Caribbean Sea, and promoting sustainable development of the Caribbean. And what do we mean by sustainable development? Sustainable development doesn't mean you just go and start to build and develop. You develop in terms of you're looking to preserve the environment. You're looking to preserve the way of life for future generations as well. So it's not like you're going to an area and everything you can take out the area, you take out, and then you abandon the area after. It doesn't work like that. Sustainable development means that we're going in with a plan. We want this to be a long-term thing. We want everybody to be able to benefit. We want the country to be able to benefit in the long term, not just the short run. All right? The European Union, the EU for short. The EU is an economic and political partnership between 27 member countries. It has a single market with the euro as its common currency. These countries include Spain, Luxembourg, Britain, France, Portugal, Italy, Greece, Belgium, Germany, Denmark, Finland, Sweden, and Switzerland. The main objectives of the EU, and the EU is a very large, powerful organization. Free movement of people, services, and capital. Removal of customs duties and quotas among members, so they can buy and trade amongst themselves in any volume that they wish. There are no duties to pay once you're a member of the EU. So a person from Britain can import goods from France, right, and not pay any taxes on the goods entering the country. Obviously, you still have to pay a transportation cost for that. Establishment of common policies for agriculture and transport. Establishment of a common tariff and common policies towards other countries. If you guys look at news, you would see a major problem for one of the member countries of the EU is migrants coming in from the Middle East, and Greece is a country that has a major problem. There are thousands of migrants there living in what they call 10 cities, right? And the EU has a policy on migrants. I think they're having a meeting soon to try and upgrade that policy, because a lot of people still living in squalor. They're still lacking basic necessities. They're still living in tents. It's muddy. They have kids with them, you know, and with the spread of this virus that's going on right now, they need to be extremely careful. So they need to have a policy to deal with these things. The main objectives, we're on point 4 here. Establishment of a common tariff and common policies towards other countries. Economic cooperation. Promoting equal rights, and fighting climate change. The World Trade Organization, or WTO for short. The World Trade Organization is an international organization that monitors and regulates trade among nations of the world based on trade agreements by member states. The World Trade Organization replaces the General Agreement of Tariffs and Trade, GATT. Now, the GATT agreement, the GATT organization, I should say, was the first. And then when we changed it to the World Trade Organization, right? Their main objectives include discouraging unfair trading practices. For example, export subsidies and selling products below cost to gain market share. Remember, we talked about a subsidy. And a subsidy is when a government of a country is paying part of a firm's cost of production. So when the government is paying part of your firm's cost of production, what they are doing, they're making it cheaper for you to produce. Now, that gives you an advantage in the terms of sense that you can now sell your product at a cheaper price, right? And the World Trade Organization is saying, listen, you need to monitor this, because if big companies are coming in to trade with other countries, with the rest of the world, and they're able to sell at a lower price because they are being subsidized by their government, that is going to give them an unfair advantage with the rest of the world. Okay? So the World Trade Organization stands against that. They also, the second objective, settle disputes among members. They offer environmental protection. They monitor and review trade policies. We're moving on to the Caribbean Basin.
So that's only like in the Caribbean, right?
Which one?
for like the second one that used to
The World Trade
for
Organization.
settling this, the settling disputes.
No. The World Trade Organization deals with the entire world.
Oh.
Yeah, trade with the world, right? Including the Caribbean as well.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right. Then we have the Caribbean Basin Initiative, the CBI. CBI allows certain Caribbean and Central American products duty-free entry into the United States. Products exported include, and I gave you all some classification of the products here: chemicals, manufactured goods, fresh fruits, and vegetables. So this initiative allowed Caribbean and Central American products to enter duty-free into the United States. And that's a big thing. That opens up the market for Caribbean producers, right? It makes their market share larger. It exposes them to a wider range of customers now. In the long run, that means more profitability. Oil producing exporting countries, OPEC. And again, if you're all following news, you will see that Russia has challenged, is a member of OPEC. They withdrew from OPEC, right? And Saudi Arabia is saying they're going to sell their oil on the open market. Now, what's going to force the price of oil to fall? That's going to be a problem for us, because as you all know, Trinidad and Tobago, we're not in the business of refining, but we're in the business of still exploring and extracting oil. So we still sell our oil on the open market, right? And that's going to cause our prices, our revenue stream to go down. So OPEC, somebody has the mic on. If you're not,
Mic is up, right?
You need to put your mic on mute, please.
Maris, you could also mute all the mics on your end as well. Huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that as well. All right. That's Shaquille. All right, we're moving on, guys. So the objectives of OPEC was regular supply of petroleum products on the world market, a steady income for producers, and now OPEC, right, was formed because oil producing nations, the larger oil producing nations, wanted to say, okay, let's stabilize the oil prices, because if we're competing against each other, it's going to be a problem for us. The problem is we're going to be competing with the same resource, which will force prices to go down. Let's all come together, have an agreement, and in this agreement, we'll say, listen, you produce this amount, and we set the price for oil. And that is what has been going on. Now, OPEC is considered to be the largest cartel in the world, all right? And that's a term I want you all to research, cartel, right? In 1976, OPEC established a special fund to provide financial assistance for developing countries. OPEC countries, include Kuwait, Venezuela, Iran, Iraq, Angola, Saudi Arabia, Algeria, Ecuador, Libya, Nigeria, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Now, a country very close to us is a member of OPEC. That's to tell you the amount of oil that they have in production, and that's Venezuela. Caribbean. The agreement allows preferential duty-free access to the Canadian market. So it's Caribbean is Caribbean-Canadian, all right? It's an agreement that we have with Canada, and it allows duty-free access to the Canadian market for almost all imports from Commonwealth Caribbean countries. Anybody knows what makes you a Commonwealth nation? It means that you were once ruled by the British Empire. So it means that remember, we gained our independence in 1962. So prior to that, we were under British rule, right? That makes us a Commonwealth nation. Canada even is a Commonwealth nation as well. The main objectives of Caribbean is to enhance the Commonwealth Caribbean existing trade, to improve economic development prospects of the region, to promote new investment opportunities, to encourage economic integration and cooperation within the region, and to encourage long-term investments through development projects, right? We're moving on, guys, to the North American Free Trade Agreements, or NAFTA for short. This agreement allows duty-free entry of goods among Canada, United States, and Mexico. And President Trump was saying that he wants to remove America, United States, from this agreement because a lot of Mexican products are coming into America, and it's providing competition, giving a lot of American companies competition. It's unfair. He thinks it's unfair, right? Free Trade Area of the Americas, FTAA. Now, the FTA came out of NAFTA. So you'll see there, the FTA is an expansion of NAFTA. It is an organization of 34 countries of the Americas, including North and South America, Canada, and the Caribbean, except for Cuba. Its objectives include economic prosperity, free market of goods and services, and democracy. And I think that's the last one there is why Cuba is not part of the FTAA, right? Unemployment. So basically, we are finished with the major economic institutions, right? For principles of business. What I want to look at now is unemployment. So we're going to look at social and economic problems facing Caribbean countries. We live in a Caribbean island, and we know some of the social and economic problems that we face, right? And you will be surprised to know, some of you will be surprised to know that there are other Caribbean islands as well that are a bit worse off than Trinidad and Tobago, right? But we all have the similar issue, unemployment. Globalization, that's a term I want you all to do some research on. So next Tuesday, we'll be talking about globalization. Globalization has contributed significantly to unemployment in the Caribbean. With the removal of trade barriers, some industries have not been able to compete globally. Excuse me. The lack of technology skills have also contributed to the problem of unemployment. I'll forget something here. Let me read that again. Sorry about that. Globalization has contributed significantly to unemployment in the Caribbean. With the removal of trade barriers, some industries have not been able to compete globally. What we're saying is that, remember globalization, countries are trading freely among countries now. They're trading you're selling goods all over the world. You can stay in Trinidad and Tobago. You can buy products from Europe. You can buy products from America online, and it is shipped to you, right? And what we're saying is this has created a major problem for local companies in the sense that they are unable to compete because these large companies in these countries, they producing, but they're producing in bulk. They have raw materials, they have resources at a lower price than us. So they're able to give us some stiff competition in terms of pricing. And as a customer, as a rational thinking consumer, you will always gravitate towards the lower price because you're saving money. And that has caused a major problem. Another problem for the Caribbean is the lack of adequate skills that are required for new industrial paradigm. For example, information technology skills have also contributed to the problem for unemployment. Now, we live in a global age, and the global age is everything is about information, right? Everything is about technology. The apps, cell phone, you can access, you don't even have to buy a laptop anymore. Everything can be done via your cell phone, right? And that technology has given the world an advantage, right? But where has the Caribbean fallen? Well, where does the Caribbean fall in that? We don't have the technology, we don't have the skills to produce these things, right? And that has created unemployment for us. High level of unemployment among young people of the Caribbean may result in various social problems, such as survival may depend on illegal activities. If you're not employed, how are you going to buy food? How are you going to buy groceries? Right? How are you going to take care of your family? So it's going to contribute to social problems. And we have a number of reasons why there's unemployment in the Caribbean. But we have three major ones here. Firms, for example, multinationals closing down, lack of investment to create new businesses, lack of skills and training. A lot of multinationals companies now leaving the region. They're not wanting to invest. You all know Sandals wanted to invest in Tobago. They pulled out for some reason. That's going to affect us. Again, because of the unstable oil prices, people don't want to invest. You don't want to go into a country and invest millions of dollars, and there's political instability. There's some sort of civil war happening in the country. There's always some sort of crime levels are high. People don't want to come out. You don't want to invest your money in situations like that. And lack of skills and training. Now, you have to give kudos to the government of Trinidad and Tobago. The early prime ministers, Basil Pandey and Patrick Manning, recognized that that was a major problem for us in Trinidad and Tobago. We had the resources, we had the space to do it, but our people were not trained. And because of that, under the UNC regime from 95 to 2000, they established what you call TTIT, Trinidad and Tobago Institute of Technology. And when the PNM government under Patrick Manning came into power from 2001, they changed that to what we know as UTT today, right? And those two institutions basically provided training for our locals to make them more marketable, to make them more employable in the industrial estate, right? While we're on unemployment, there's a question that loves to come on unemployment. Most of the questions that will come on unemployment will ask you to identify two types or three types of unemployment. And there are types of unemployment, right? So I want you guys, you all have, well, we're on the internet here. So I'm giving you all 2 minutes. Come up with some types of unemployment. And we're not going to say it on the group, on this live stream, but you're going to send it on the group chat, right? 2 minutes, guys. Types of unemployment.
Okay.
Yes, I found it.
All right, good. So most of you should be able to see frictional unemployment, right? And frictional unemployment refers to unemployed persons who are looking for a job. They're looking for the ideal job. So it's not like they're not working or not. They're working, but they are working in between jobs. So when you leave school, you might pick up a job in KFC, but that's not your ideal job. You may want to work in a bank. You may want to work in an insurance company. You may even want to go and take a job and become a teacher, right? At CTS even. But right now, you're working at KFC. You will be considered under frictional unemployment, right? So you're switching jobs, you're looking jobs. It's not the ideal job for you. So you might start, you went work first as a security guard for a couple of weeks. You switch to something else, right? Seasonal unemployment happens when people are out of work due to the season. So I don't know how well you all remember, but when Trinidad and Tobago was a sugar-producing country or nation, workers who were employed under Carney were seasonally employed, and especially cane cutters, because our crop time, this is called a crop time, when the period you harvest in the cane, would be from January to probably end of April, first week in May, right? And you will only need cane cutters during that period. After that, these guys who were classified as cane cutters would have no work, right? So they will be employed for certain times, parts of the year. Seasonal unemployment. Then you have, excuse me, structural unemployment. And structural unemployment refers to jobs becoming outdated due to the skills no longer being required. So that's homework. Write it down. I'm taking note of it. I want you all to give me examples of structural unemployment. where the industry itself closed down and people lost their jobs, right? And if you all were listening to me earlier, I just gave you all a big clue there.
Clue, sir?
Yeah? You were listening. Were you listening?
Yes, sir.
Right? What was the example I just gave? Well, you have time. You can do some research.
Wait, so are you talking about the KFC example?
No, I'm talking about the Carney example.
Oh.
Okay. I don't understand. My bad.
Remember the entire industry closed down?
Yeah.
Right. So I'll leave it there. You will do your write-up. We'll share it after. And another type of unemployment is cyclical unemployment, which we consider to be the worst kind, right? It's considered to be the worst kind because people are unemployed because the economy, the country itself has slowed down. And that is the worst kind because you're not in between jobs. One particular industry didn't close down under like structural. You're not employed for part of the year like under seasonal. But with cyclical, it is the economy has experiencing probably a recession or a downturn, and people are not working. Now, the problems, there are major problems that comes with unemployment. And I want you all to get a pen out because we're going to look at the problems associated with unemployment. It's not in the handout because you all know I like to have discussions in the classroom, get your brain flowing. So we're going to look at problems associated with unemployment. And we're going to take down some notes. All right. Right, so you all should be ready. And the first major problem of unemployment is standard of living. Your quality of life will fall. So point one, standard of living. And we had a long discussion on what is standard of living in class. It refers to your quality of life, how well you live. If you're not working for a prolonged period of time, right, there will come a point when you will be using up nearly all of your savings, right? How well do you think you're going to live? You're not going to live well at all because you will be unable to afford basic things. So first problem with unemployment, standard of living, quality of life is going to fall.
So we have to write down that.
Yes, write it down. It's not in the handout. The second one is that point two, we should be ready, is that it will lead to poverty. Remember, if you're not working, you can't buy, you can't afford basic necessities, right? Then you're going into poverty. Now, the third problem is with unemployment is that it increases your debt, and that's DEBT. You'll find yourself owing large amounts of money because, let me explain that for you. When you were employed, you probably would have gone and taken a loan to probably build a home, buy a home, or even buy a new vehicle. And let's say you come and lose your job. How are you going to pay your loan? Understand? So the thing is, you may lose the car, you may even lose your house, right? And it's going to cause problems. It's going to cause you to be under serious stress, which brings us to the next point, which is homelessness, right?
Homelessness, sir?
So you're homeless. And the next point is a rise in family tensions. And a rise in family tensions means that imagine you have a wife and kids, right? You're not working. For the past 2 years, you're not working. How are you going to take care of your family, right? You and your wife may start arguing a bit more. It may lead to tensions. The kids may not be able to go to school, right? And that's going to cause a serious problem. It may lead to fights in the relationship. One party might leave the other party. It causes problems. Unemployment causes serious problems, right? And that's a major thing. Another thing, so we looked at the social, all those points I gave you, they were more social effects of unemployment. Now we're going to look at the money side of unemployment, the revenue side of it, right? And these are the economic effects of unemployment. Remember, if you're not working, then you're not paying taxes. You're not contributing to the national insurance scheme, right? You're not paying health charge, but you're using those resources. So one is going to be a loss of revenue for the country. And it's really tax revenue. So it's a loss of tax revenue for the country. Right? That's one. Two, there's going to be a loss of output in the economy. Because remember, you're not working. So you're not utilizing your skills. We're not producing anything. And if we're not producing anything, that we just lose, we're wasting our resources. We're wasting our human resources. So it's a loss of output. Now, when you have large amounts of people being unemployed in your country, it brings us to point 3. You can't let them starve. Because as a government, you need to be responsible. You need to protect the welfare and ensure the welfare of each and every citizen in your country, right? So that is going to cause increased government expenditure because the government now will have to provide programs and relief to take care of these people. So the point is, increase in government expenditure. And to explain that point, right? To explain that point, we will see the government must now spend money to take care of the unemployed individuals in the country. And the next point is loss of profits. Remember, if nobody working, if a large amount of people not working, right, then they're not going to have money. If they don't have money, they're not going to spend. If they're not spending in your business, that means your business is not selling anything. And if your business is not selling anything, then you're not making any profits, right? Loss of profits. Now, I want you to write this down for me. And it's something we need to look at when we're talking about unemployment. The real impact of unemployment, write it down. The real impact of unemployment will depend on 2 factors. I'll read it again. the real impact of unemployment will depend on two factors. And I'll give you the two factors. One, the unemployment rate. And the unemployment rate means out of the entire population, how many people are not working. Right? So that's one, unemployment rate. And I'll try to explain rate for you in the sense that we're looking at this in terms of out of the entire population, how much people are not working. And then we have the second point is the duration of unemployment. How long is the unemployment existing for in the country? The longer the unemployment is in the country, the worse off the situation is going to get. Right?
So I can repeat the second point, please.
The duration of unemployment. And we said that means how long the unemployment is existing in the country. So how long the unemployment is lasting. Now, the longer the unemployment, let me just say this, the longer the unemployment in the country, the longer the period of unemployment in the country, the worse off we will be, right?
That's where they throw out one place. They didn't even see the plan them talking about that last night. It does not stay on the floor.
Hello?
Look, I just get a thing from Italy here. Hold on.
Shaquille, you need to turn your mic off. All right, guys. So I think you should have that there now, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. We're going on to the other part of the answer there. Population density. Before I move on, if anybody have any questions on unemployment, I'm giving you a chance to ask it now, or we will go on, right?
As you could go.
Thanks, Miguel. But we have 24 other people too.
So you can continue,
All right, good.
in my opinion.
All right, no problem. Remember, guys, once you ask a question, remember to mute your mic, right? Fantastic. I think we're getting hung up this thing. So we're moving. Population density. Population density refers to the average number of people living on every square kilometer of a country, right? So it refers to how much people living in a particular area. The formula for calculating population density is the density of the population, total population, over the area, right? Very high population densities indicate overpopulation. So what that means is, let's say in an area of, let me give you a size, our classroom at CTS. Our classroom is roughly 20 by about 40. I'm averaging here, right? We have 29 students at any given time when we have in a POB class. And to us, that is crowded. Now, that would be a high population density. If we only had 2 students in the classroom, because during class some of you like to say you're going to use the washroom and run off and go in room 4, and ever so often I come and check and I find 2 people inside it, right? If 2 people in that large space, same size space, then you have a low population density, right? That's how you look at it. So a very high population density can indicate overpopulation. Now, you might think overpopulation sounding good. It's not really a good thing, eh? Because remember, when you're overpopulated, there's more people, but we only have a certain amount of resources. We now have to share that resources, limited resources, of course, with this larger amount of people, which is going to put a strain on our physical resources. Now, when your country becomes overpopulated as well, hospitals are going to fill up faster. Schools are going to fill up faster, right? Transportation networks are going to be crowded up because it's a lot more people coming on stream. This occurs when the facilities in a location are not able to serve the number of persons in that location. Highlight that. This will cause heavy competition for jobs, schools, and health facilities. So you see, I just mentioned that to you all. It's going to cause a number of problems, right? Good. Another big topic that we have to consider is something called migration. So we're going on to migration, guys. And migration, let's see what the handle is saying. Caribbean people migrate to first world countries such as America and Europe in search of opportunities such as employment and education. When skilled and professional workers migrate, Caribbean countries may experience shortages in critical areas such as healthcare. Loss of skilled workers from industry will also retard growth, means slow down growth, right? And development. Social problems may arise when children are left in the care of grandparents and other relatives who have challenges to discipline them. So a lot is being said in that paragraph there. So we're going to pull apart that paragraph and look at it in a bit more detail. So I hope all you have all your pens ready. We're going on to migration. Right. And we touched on migration. Those of you who pay attention in class will realize that we talked about migration previously. And we had a definition for migration previously. So I'm going to call somebody here, right, to give me a definition for migration, because I like class to be participative, you know. Let me call on Kalim. Give me a definition for migration. We met it in our previous handout.
So, and you could have external migration and internal migration, right?
Right, those are the types. We're not talking about that. Give Kalim a chance to answer. I want a definition.
Can I do it?
All right, go ahead, Hawa.
Okay. Migration is the movement of people to a new area or country in order to find work or better living conditions.
Right. One thing missing there. It's one thing missing. One word. Starts with P.
P?
Yeah. Permanent.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the permanent. You see, when you migrate, you really have no intentions of coming back. Eh? If you have intentions of coming back, then you're not really migrating. You're probably going on an extended vacation. Right? It's the permanent movement of people from one area to the next. Right? Well, Miguel, I see you doing some reading. You really want to pass this next exam, boy? Good. So, Miguel, you there?
Yes, sir.
Right. You were saying types of migration are
internal and external.
Internal and external. Good. So those who listen, take note, people. It's in a handout, you know, we have it in a handout, but I know you all do like to read your handouts, right? Internal and external. Give me a definition for internal.
I do it.
Internal migration is when a group or population of people move to the next part of the same country.
Right. So they're not a group, but they say when people move from one part of a country to the next. And in most cases, they try to people would like to move from the rural areas, the countryside areas, to the more developed areas, right?
Yeah.
Which to me I find doesn't make much sense. I like to move from the rural areas because nobody wants to live in a concrete jungle to the countryside where you get fresh air and fresh breeze and so on. But everybody have their own preference, right?
So can I do international?
Say something. Who's this?
Bala.
You all right, Bala?
You said I could go?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. International migration is when like a person.
External migration.
Wait, isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, but it's not classified under international. The terminology is external migration, and that's where you tell us what you're saying there.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Listen, like they move permanently to a different country or continent.
Yeah, fantastic. So you're moving from one country to the next. So for example, Trinidadians love to migrate from Trinidad to America, right? I mean, you know they say America is the land of opportunities. So thanks, Bala. All right, good job. So I think you guys have a fair idea here of the types of migration. We looked at the problems that comes along with migration. Not so?
Yeah.
Right. So let me call somebody else here. Let's get people to respond on this chat. Let's see who just have this. This is the one I'm probably running around the house and not paying attention. Let's see what Musa is doing. Musa.
Yes, sir.
Give me the problems of migration in the home country, the country you're leaving.
So you can say that again.
I want the problems of migration for the home country, the country that you're leaving. So let's say you're leaving Trinidad and Tobago to go to America, right? I want to know some of the problems that will cause for Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, when they move from one country to another, it gonna have a lack of workforce in the country.
A lack of workforce in the country. So
yeah.
You're saying productivity levels in the country is going to fall.
Yes, sir.
Excellent point. Good point.
Yeah, I could say one.
All right, thanks, Musa. Let's give somebody else a chance. I've seen Saravana on the stream here. Saravana, give us one. People migrating.
What's the question, sir?
You're not listening, Saravana.
Yes, I was, sir. I was getting distracted.
Okay, we're having a discussion here. We're saying people are migrating. They're permanently leaving Trinidad and Tobago to go to America. We want to.
Green.
Ah, brilliant point. Brain drain. And for those of you who didn't read your handouts, brain drain is when the skilled and professional people in a country leave and go to another country. That's a problem, right? What's the problem with that is that, one, we'll have to get people and retrain them now to fill those positions, which is going to take a while. And two, we would have spent money to educate those people in our country, right? To get them to be the professional they are. They're leaving our country and going to another country who doesn't have to spend money to train them and educate them, but will benefit from their skills and their talents. And that, I don't know if you remember, but there was an issue where open scholarship winners in Trinidad and Tobago are asked, when you finish your studies, when you complete your studies abroad, if you're studying abroad and so on, you are required by law to come back to your country and work for a certain period of time to repay the money that we spent on you, right? And if you don't honor that commitment to us, we can take you to court and you will have to repay us. And there was a case a couple of years back where a doctor, a young man who got a scholarship, studied in Switzerland, became a doctor, and decided to stay there and work and not return to Trinidad and Tobago. And we took him to court, right, to recover the money. And we were awarded costs. He had to pay us, right, the full value of the scholarship. So if you get an open scholarship, guys, remember you are responsible. The responsible thing to do is return to your country, work for a certain period of time, repay your debt, right? Your country would have paid for your education, and then you move on. So we have brain drain, we have a fall in productivity. What else do we have with migration? People leaving our home, leaving Trinidad and Tobago, going to America. Problems in Trinidad and Tobago.
So race?
Race in terms of? I think that would be a problem for America when you go to America, not in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Remember the hand. Let's go to the hand and see what the hand is saying again. The hand is telling you that when skilled and professional people migrate, Caribbean countries may experience shortages in critical areas such as healthcare. Nurses are in big demand all over the world, right? But when our nurses that were trained here migrate to countries like England and so on, it creates a shortage here, right? That's going to put us at a huge disadvantage. Another thing is that when our engineers and doctors and so on migrate and leave the country, it's going to slow down the development of Trinidad and Tobago. It's going to slow down our rate of growth. Because if these people were here, they would have been working here, they would have been contributing towards society, right? We would have been earning revenue through them. But now that they're leaving and they're moving permanently, we're no longer going to benefit from that. So it's going to slow down our rate of growth as well. Another big thing with migration, guys, in the last sentence of the handout here, you see, social problems may arise because a lot of people, when they migrated from Trinidad and Tobago to America in the early 90s, I would say, late 80s, they left the children in care of the grandparents. And that was a huge problem because kids now would see, hey, well, mommy and daddy no longer around. Let's be real, you have fear for your parents, a certain amount of fear. They may not beat you and so on, but you have a certain amount of fear. But grandma and granddad old, and some kids take advantage of the situation. They become unruly, they become indisciplined, right? They're supposed to be going to school, they're not going to school and so on. So it creates a huge problem, right? Now, let's look at problems of migration on the country that you are going to. It's in a handout there. So I'll call somebody in 2 minutes. I'll give another 2 minutes to sieve through the other handouts. Right, tell me. Let me call somebody here. Shalanda.
So still looking, sir.
All right. Kevin, you there?
Yeah.
Right. You're going to America.
Increase of competition for jobs, houses, health facilities, and schools in the new territory.
Excellent. Well, Kevin, you gave me all the points there, boy. Good work. Right, guys, so that's it. When you go to America, you're going to put a strain on their resources. You're going to put a strain on their infrastructure, right? Because it's more people coming into the country, right? More people traveling in the bus. So there are going to be less seats on the bus, less space on the trains. You're going to demand housing because you have to live somewhere. So you're going to create a shortage of housing for the Americans who are there before you. You're going to demand healthcare services. So you're going to you'll be taken away from somebody else who was there already, right? And that's a problem. You're going to put a strain on the country that you're leaving, that you're going to, sorry. All right. Any questions on migration, guys?
Excuse me, it's saying I want me to mute my mic, but my mic was muted the whole time.
It's saying that?
Yeah. And use the host or some?
Yeah. But I didn't see that. I didn't send you a message to mute your mic, but all right. Ignore that message, right? All right, good. Now, the next thing is this. We talked about the bad things of migration, but do you believe that there are positive things coming out of migration?
Yes.
Yeah? So, I've given you all a minute to come up with some positive things coming out of migration.
Say it's on the group, right?
Yeah, you say it on the group. You say it on the group when you're ready. Right. Khalil, your mic remain on, eh? Right. Let me pick up on some other people on the chat. Let's get everybody going here, man. I see somebody named Trump join the chat. Okay. Vikash Prasad.
Yes, sir.
Right. Positive effects of migration.
Well, okay. Now I think. Hold on, sir. I thinking. Hold on.
Mute your mic while you're thinking, boy.
You wanna get back to me?
Yeah.
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. I'm not sure who is this. I'm seeing Trump. Trump.
So I think that's Shaquille.
That's Shaquille?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was seeing Shaquille all the time. I don't know. Let me see.
Why would Shaquille be named Trump?
Nah, Shaquille's in the group chat. I mean, in the chat or whatever.
Yeah, I was seeing Shaquille's name on the chat. I wasn't seeing Trump. I was seeing Trump. No, that's not Shaquille. Shaquille here.
They were in the math one too. I don't know who they are.
Squeeze my neck, squeeze.
Okay, let's not waste time. Reagan.
Dog.
Reagan is not on the chat. Reagan here.
Yes, it's here.
Sir, greater economic growth in the region.
Greater economic growth in the region. I like that point. So greater economic, so that's the positive thing about migration, guys. Let's explore that point a bit. When the skilled people leave one country and they go to the other country, right? Remember, that country doesn't have to spend time training these people now. What they will do is they can then, these people go into the country, they start working almost immediately, right? Once they meet the necessary requirements and so on, and they start contributing to that country. So that country now is going to experience all the benefits that that person is bringing. For example, they're going to contribute to healthcare system in terms of paying taxes. They're going to, if they're a doctor, they're going to contribute towards saving lives in that country, right? So there are positive effects of migration, and it's going to cause economic growth in the country that they are going to, not the country that they're leaving, but the country that they are going to, because they will be working, they will be paying taxes, right? What's another positive effect of migration?
Better living conditions.
Better living conditions. But that will be classified.
Better jobs and stuff too.
Right. But we'll put that as a purpose. So those are reasons why you would migrate. Right?
All right.
We're looking at the effects. When you migrate, what are the good things coming out of when you migrate?
Standard living conditions.
We could put those points you all said under that as well, eh? Right? But if they ask you reasons why people migrate as well, those points will fall there as well. All right?
So Adonai says standard living.
Adonai said stand. Well, he said that in the group in the WhatsApp.
Yeah, like you don't have a mic, so you say it in chat.
Okay.
Right here.
Well,
all right. What about the standard of living? It's going to be improved, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir, it will be improved.
Nice. So your quality of life will be improved. And Bala and Kalim, the points you all raised with better working conditions, more opportunities, and so on, that will fall under his point. Right? Good. Now, the other thing, tell me something. Do you think there's a positive impact of migration on the country that you're leaving?
No, sir.
None at all?
Well,
Yeah, because they're skilled workers.
no, because say skilled workers leaving the
Mhm.
country, so therefore it's a disadvantage. It's less production. So,
But say, in the country that you're leaving, right?
Mhm.
It would like become less populated.
Mhm.
But that's my whole point.
Yeah, and that's a good point. If people leave in the country and they're not intending to return, they migrate in permanently, right? Then those who remain in the country will have a greater opportunity to be employed. Think about it. Now, it's a bit of a far-fetched point, but I want you to really think about it in the sense that people leave in Trinidad and Tobago, but you're staying behind, right? So the doctors, the engineers, and most of them left. Not all of them would leave, but some of them left, right? And that creates a vacancy in the country now.
Yes, and it could create opportunity for you to get that person places in their job.
Exactly. So that's how we look at it, right? All right, good. So we're rolling again, guys. In 20 minutes we'll take a break, right?
okay.
Right. I know I want to take a little break. So we're going on again.
Okay.
The debt burden. Many Caribbean countries have a high debt to GDP ratio. It means given the size of the amount of money that we earn and the amount of money that we're owing, we find ourselves owing a lot more than what we're earning, right? This ratio is the amount of national debt of a country as a percentage of its GDP. High debt to GDP can stifle an economy as a large portion of its GDP is consumed by debt payment, and very little is left for investment in the economy. So, and that's a problem. Eh? If you find yourselves owing, think about it as, forget a country, think about you taking a loan and every month you have to repay $5,000, but you're only working or you're only earning at present 7,500. That means the majority of your income is going towards paying off your debt, right? Which leaves you with only $2,500 to take care of your needs, to carry yourself throughout the entire month until more money comes in. And that is the problem with a high debt to GDP ratio, right? Because it leaves you with little money left to expand, to embark on new projects, to train people, right? It limits your money. So we're going to read the second sentence. High debt to GDP can stifle an economy as a large portion of its GDP is consumed in debt payment and very little is left for investment in the economy. I want you to highlight that for me. A very low, well, you all should have your handouts, eh? Right. A very low debt to GDP ratio is desirable for economic growth and development. So we talked about economic growth and development. We identified what is the difference between economic growth and economic development. And here we are saying, for there to be economic growth and development, we shouldn't find ourselves owing large amounts of money, right? If we do find ourselves owing large amounts of money, it's going to be a huge problem, right? Sourcing capital, we're going on again. Sourcing capital and raw materials. This is another problem that the Caribbean region is facing, right? Let's get back to this stuff here. While the Caribbean might be rich in certain natural resources such as bauxite and oil and gold, the region lacks other very important resources such as capital and entrepreneurial skills, money. Capital is important as it increases production using machinery, equipment, and money invested. The spirit of entrepreneurship, and this is a topic that we touched on a lot, entrepreneurship, is necessary for the creation of new business ideas, and entrepreneurship skills are important for the successful running of a business. So while we have certain, what we're saying is while we have certain raw materials in the country, we lack others, right? I remember I told you all on the factors of production. Production cannot take place if one factor of production is absent. So you have the land, What are the 4 factors of production? Let me just test some people here. Let me call some people. Alicia Maloney. Give me the 4 factors of production. Miguel, let me mute your mic.
So I can get it also.
Go ahead.
Land, labor, enterprise, and capital.
Right. So we have land, labor, enterprise, and capital. Those, thanks, Adonai. So those are the four major factors of production, right? They want to include a 5th one and so on. I won't tell you what the 5th one is as yet, but I'm not sure they will bring that up. But the 4 factors of production are land, labor, capital, and enterprise, right? Now, if anyone is absent, production cannot take place. So here we are saying we may have resources. We have the land, right? We have the labor. We may even have the entrepreneur, but we don't have the money, right? The Caribbean region lacks money. We lack financial capital, financial investment. Can you produce anything? You can't, right? So it's like having the orange tree. You have the juicer, right? But you don't have somebody to go and pick the orange and squeeze it for you. How are you going to get the juice? Right? So the spirit of entrepreneurship is necessary for the region, for the creation of new businesses. Now, you have the land, you have the labor, you have the capital, but you don't have somebody with the idea, coming up with the idea, the entrepreneur. You can't produce anything, right? There are many, many resources in this country that I would say underutilized, that we could use, that we could make into something that we could sell on the international market and gain a lot of recognition. And I was telling you all, clay. We are one of the best clay in the world. And we can use that to make ceramics and so on. That is something I'm amazed why some people haven't really gone into that. I know there's only one company, Resell Industries, that using, well, they're manufacturing ceramic toilet sets and so on in Trinidad and Tobago. But, I mean, nobody has taken it other than that. You could use clay in this country to make other things. Yeah, we make the dias and so on, but that's only for a specific time of the year. We're looking at something that can be sustained throughout the entire year, right? Moving on. So, economic dualism in the region. Now, dual means 2. So, economic dualism means in one country, notice carefully, in one country, we have 2 systems operating, 2 systems running. Now, let me explain that for you. You will find yourself that in one part of the country, it's highly developed, right? You have cinemas, you have large industries, production is taking place. And then in the same country, you go to another part of it, it's backward, people still living, excuse me, in shacks, the roads are not paved, they have no electricity, there's no pipe-borne water. That is the perfect example of economic dualism. One part of the country, highly developed. Other part of the country, backward. So economic dualism occurs in countries where there exist 2 opposite economic sectors. One sector is characterized by development, capital-intensive industries, large-scale farming, and technological advancement. And the other sector is characterized by subsistence farming, labor-intensive industries, handicraft industries, and simple trading means of survival. So we're saying there is one part of the country, you have automated machines. Machines are manufacturing, the machines produces. There's large-scale farming, there's a lot of equipment, a lot of technology is being used in production in one part of the country. And in the other part of the country, you have, it's backward. People still using primitive tools, people still plowing land with using animals, right? Labor-intensive industries, handicraft industries, and simple trading means of survival. So Trinidad and Tobago, when Caroni was operating, was a good example of economic dualism, of a country that has economic dualism. Because you had Point Lisas Industrial Estate, to the western side. Those of you who are familiar with Cuba, you know where the Point Vistas industrial estate is, the western side of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yep.
And right opposite, when you cross the road, you would have seen the old sugar factory, right? Where people were still cutting cane with hand and loading a tractor, and there's a lot of manual and physical work, right? And that was a perfect example of economic dualism. One part of the country really, really developed. Next part of the country, we're still using primitive technology, right? Any questions on economic dualism, guys? We good? All right, nice. So we're going on again. Possible solutions to economic and social problems in the Caribbean. Now, there are other problems facing the Caribbean. Now, what I want to say to you all is this. Those were the major problems. I know crime is a major problem affecting us in Trinidad and Tobago, but it doesn't mean that the entire Caribbean region is plagued with crime. So that crime is something that is country specific, right? It's not region specific. These points that we talked about were specific to the region, the Caribbean region. All right? So I just want to clarify that with you guys. Possible solutions to economic and social problems. And the major solution is always foreign direct investment. And what is foreign direct investment? We will stop there. I don't want to get into it and then we have to stop for the break. Right? We're taking 20 minutes and we're coming back. Don't log off the chat, right? Just mute your mic and take 20 minutes, get something to eat, get a snack, stretch your legs a little bit. I know most of you are probably sitting down, and we'll come back in 20 minutes. Right, guys? 20 minutes.
Hi, sir.
All right.
So we on a break?
We're on a break for 20 minutes. We come back in 20 minutes, right?
All right.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, 9 is fine. Yeah. Or 10. 10 is also good too. Yeah.
Right? So in 20 minutes, we have the questions. Let me repeat the questions again. I hope everybody's seen it. Define each of the following terms. Public sector, 2 marks. Unemployment, 2 marks. Foreign investment, foreign direct investment, 2 marks. Right? Identify 2 types of unemployment, 2 marks. Right? Outline 3 ways in which governments can assist the private sector businesses, 6 marks. Discuss 2 benefits of foreign direct investment to the host country, the country they're coming into. That's 6 marks. So the time is, let's set a time for this. It's now 11. It's exactly 11 o'clock. We're coming back at 20 past. Well, at least quarter past. I will start checking you guys. All right. Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Good. So I will be calling people to answer the question. You will be responding on the chat. All right. 20 minutes. Use your handout, people. Let's go. I'm right here. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Shaquille, you have a question?
Excuse me, you could zoom in a little bit more.
You are the zooming, Kalim.
If I share in here, you can zoom in.
How you just do that now again?
At the bottom of your screen, you'll see 100% coming up. Just scroll to the positive sign and you'll get it in line.
Okay, I get it. You can scroll along.
That's the entire question there now. You not see that?
Okay, right. Keep it there.
How we doing, guys? We getting through? Everybody getting through?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Hey, Dominique, you have a question?
No, sir.
Okay. How we coming along, guys? Anybody finish? We have the answers there, so it shouldn't take that long. Tell me. You have 3 more minutes. All right, guys, let's answer this question.
So, do the next questions and now typing there?
No, we do that after. I'm now typing in that. In case we finish the one before time, because you realize we get a lot done today.
Yeah.
So for public sector, the term public sector is the part of an economy that is controlled by the state.
For 2 marks. Anything else you can say for that?
So I put this is all industries and organizations owned and run by the state. Example, public schools and hospitals.
Okay, I like the example. Yeah. Anybody?
So
unemployment. I put the objective for the public sector in the definition.
Let me hear the answer.
Well, I put that it's owned by the state, and then I put the objective of the public sector is to provide an affordable and reliable good or service to the people.
Nice. That could work, yeah. We'll take that.
So I have the public sector is usually comprised of organizations that are owned and operated by the government. They exist to provide services.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So we have some good answers. It's 2 marks, so you won't get penalized. Once you have something of substance there, you should be okay. All right, I like the answer so far. So we had that for public sector. Unemployment. I know that was a hard one, but you all have access to technology, so you all home. Unemployment.
So I put this refers to the number of people who don't hold any job position or are unemployed.
I put unemployment as a state of being unemployed. Wait, never mind.
Okay. I'm putting
So
your mic on.
over mine?
No, I have yours.
They can give us a definition, please.
I'm going to give you a definition here. But anybody else want to share before I give my definition? All right, Miguel and Kalim, don't forget to put your mic on mute. Right, good. So unemployment refers to all those individuals who are actively seeking employment but cannot find a job. And notice the term I put there, actively seeking employment but cannot find a job. Because there are some people, let's be real, that just sit down home and do nothing. I will not consider them to be unemployed. I'll consider them to be lazy, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you must be actively seeking work and you can't find a job, you're unemployed. All right. 2 marks. Nice simple definition. You get a 2 marks there. Foreign investment. We're going to pull that straight from the handout. What is foreign investment? Let me call somebody.
Sir, can I try to answer it?
All right. Well, I was going to give somebody else a chance, but all right, if you want to take a shot, go ahead. Go ahead. Let me hear you.
It's when foreign investment is when a company or individual from one nation invests assets or ownership stakes of a company based in another region.
Okay, good. I like that answer. So they're located in one country or region and they invest in money into another country in the form of assets, technology, and those things. Okay, nice, nice.
So
yes,
you could
Miguel?
say like nah, but this wouldn't be an investment. If you're buying stocks, not stocks, I forget the term it is using us. Like when you're buying stakes in a business.
Shares.
Yes, shares.
Mm-hmm.
That comes like as an investment. Country.
It is a form of investment. Yeah, they invested in a local company, but foreign investment more means a foreign entity. Beta entity means business person or group of companies coming into a country, right? And setting up factories, machinery, and equipment, and so on to begin production, right? So it doesn't have to necessarily mean only a building. It can mean foreign individuals or foreign entity coming into a country, into a host country, to invest in the form of capital, money, or machinery, factories and equipment, right, to begin production. Right, guys? We're going on to identify 2 types of unemployment. And I was reading through the WhatsApp messages here. So anybody read through the WhatsApp, we'll find the answer there. You guys had a lot of stuff. Excellent work on that. 2 types of unemployment. Let me call somebody. Nobody volunteers yet. Let me call somebody. Hannah.
The 2 types of unemployment is frictional unemployment. This unemployment exists in any economic due to people being in the process of moving from one job to another. And voluntary unemployment, defined as a situation where unemployment choose not to accept at the going wage, a job at a going wage.
Oh, so the unemployed people, yeah, voluntary. So you're choosing because you don't like the wage rate, you're choosing not to work.
Yeah.
All right, good answer. Thanks, Hannah. But the other types of unemployment, and just if they tell you identify, guys, Hannah, don't waste time. Remember, you're pressed for time in an exam room. You don't want to waste too much time explaining. It's 2 marks, 1 mark each. Just identify it and you run from there, right? But good work. Anybody else? Any other 2 types of unemployment you want to share with us?
So I put structural unemployment and cyclical unemployment.
Cyclical.
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, nice. I didn't see Philip on the chat here. Oh, what's going on with Philip? Anybody know?
He get frightened, sir.
I don't think so. But I like your confidence level, Miguel. All right. Part C. Outline 3 ways in which governments can assist private sector businesses. Now, we didn't touch on that today, but I know we touched on that, I think, last week. How can the government assist private sector businesses? And you have to outline. Who wants to get the ball rolling? Well, somebody volunteer. Everybody waiting for one person to say.
The financial help could be one.
Say that again.
Financial help.
Financial help. Yeah, but we need to be specific, because remember you have to explain, right? Financial help is a broad term. But yeah, you're on the right track.
So what about the development of employment skills?
So yes, yeah, one word that are saying they provide training for workers, for companies that, yeah, they create a space where companies can have their workers trained for free. What reduce costs? What do you think?
Yeah, that could work. Because it's like only there's 6 marks. So.
Yeah, but there's only 2 marks there. We need to have 3 points. Right. So let me give you all some ideas. We talked about this now, but I'll not remember it right now. 3 ways in which governments can assist private sector businesses. 1, provide them with soft loans. So remember, businesses might need money to buy more raw materials, to fix the broken equipment, or even buy new equipment. Provide them with a soft loan. Now, how does a soft loan differ from a normal loan? Remember, a soft loan is a loan with little or no interest rates, right? So I want to say that, provide them with a soft loan, and your explanation will be, this is done by providing businesses or private sector businesses, be specific, with a loan that carries very little or no interest rates with it. Okay? Which they can use for expansion and purchase of new equipment. And that's 1 point, that's 2 marks. Another way government can assist private sector businesses is by providing free financial and technical advice. The government can have agencies, right, that will help entrepreneurs to manage their businesses efficiently and help them to run their businesses effectively. All right. So we provide free technical training and advice. The government can do that again. And again, what will be the benefit of that? It will encourage private sector businesses to manage their business more effectively and efficiently, right? And a third thing the government can do for private sector businesses is help them to market their products. Remember, advertising costs a lot of money. And you might be a local manufacturer, but you may not have the money. You may have an extremely good quality product, but you may not be able to target somebody you want to sell it to in Europe. The government can have these expos, these trade expos, where they help you to market your business, right? So you're exposed to a lot more potential clients, I would say. And you all jotting down those points as we talk, right? As I talk. I hope so. And the last one is discuss 2 benefits of foreign direct investments to a host country. And I think we got that straight off the handout. Yeah? No? And you have to discuss. 2 benefits of foreign direct investment to the host country would be employment for nationals, right? And we have to explain that. You have to explain that point. And your explanation will be, when nationals become employed, it reduces unemployment in the country, right? And these individuals who are working will now be paying taxes, which generates more revenue in the country. That's only 1 point there. So that carries 2 marks. Employment of nationals, are we saying when nationals gain employment, it reduces the level of unemployment in the country, and also those who are employed will now be contributing to the tax revenue in the country, because when you work, you have to pay taxes, right? Another benefit of foreign direct investment to the host country would be introduction of advanced technology and processes. Remember, we as a country may not have enough money or capital to buy the equipment necessary to produce some of the items that we're producing here. But when these foreign firms come into the country, they're going to bring their technology, they're going to bring their processes and so on into the country, right? And we will gain that advantage. We will benefit from that in the sense that we now have the technology here. What am I talking about? In the Point Lisas industrial estate, they manufacture things like ammonia, natural gas, we export methanol, right? Those things, those facilities to set up cost a lot of money. Had it not been for the foreign firms investing in Trinidad and Tobago, we would not have had the technology to convert that into methanol and export and sell it in revenue, right? Or always the foreign firms selling the product, we earn revenue via the taxation that they pay. And remember, they also provide employment for locals as well. Right. Let me get some feedback from you guys there. We good so far with those questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic. So
Yes, sir.
I'll type in one more question here. Well, not the entire question, but part of it, because we started at 8:45, so we'll end at 11:45. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
So what you know, sir?
I say we
We're ending
started at
11:45.
8:45, so we ended
Oh.
at 11:45.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, nice. So we're looking at May, June 2016, number 7. As I type, you all can start to think in your head, what is the answer we're looking for? And you have your handouts with you, so you can always pull up, right? All right, guys. So those are the questions I'm posing up for us to answer now. First one is carrying 2 marks, so it's not much writing you guys have to do. And the second part is carrying 2 marks each as well, so good. Right, guys, so we'll answer this together, right?
Okay, sir.
Define each of the following terms. Standard of living. That's something you all have been doing with me for the longest while. So let me call somebody here. Anuradha, give me an answer for that. Talked about that this morning. Anuradha seems to not be hearing us. Reagan, what you thinking? Definition for standard of living.
So I can answer it.
Yeah, sure.
Standard of living refers to the quality of life or how well people are living based on their level of disposable income.
Yes. Brilliant answer.
Sir, I can read mine.
Go ahead.
Standard of living refers to the degree of wealth and material comfort available to a person, community, or country.
All right, but the thing is, Miguel, can you remember all of that in the exam?
Yeah.
All right, nice, nice. A simple definition I like to go with is the standard of living refers to the quality of life or how well people live in a particular country. 2 marks. National income. Musa, let me hear what you was thinking.
Yes.
Now listen, Musa.
What's the question? Explain national income.
Yes.
That's like the amount of money the country earns per person.
Like you're traveling, Musa. All right, all right. I get the idea where you're coming from.
So I could say it
Yeah, go ahead.
as the money value of all the goods and services produced in a country during a financial year.
All right, excellent. That's it. All right, that's it. Excellent. We're going on to part B. Describe one way in which each of the following indicators affects an individual's standard of living. Now, each of these are indicators, and we want to know how do they affect your standard of living. Quality and availability of employment. So you can look at it either in a negative light or in a positive light, but either way, it will affect your standard of living. So tell me. Take a minute, think about it. I'm going to call somebody. All right, let's go. So we're looking at quality and availability of employment. Now, if the quality of employment is high, meaning that it's not a dangerous job, not a life-threatening job, and there's a lot of employment available, then that's how you have to table your points. So one thing leads to the other. So you're saying, first of all, if the quality and availability of employment is high, right, then more individuals will be employed, which means more individuals will be earning money, earning an income, which will result in an improved standard of living for these individuals, right? There's only 2 marks, so you don't need to go any further than that. Had it been for a 6-mark question, you would have gone further and say things like, okay, so because they're earning an income, they're able to buy their basic needs, right? They're able to improve their quality of life. They're able to cover their cost. And you explain to that effect. Part 2, quality and affordable housing. Again, I like to look at things in the positive light. So if the quality and housing, or the quality of housing is good and housing is affordable at the same time, then people's quality of life will be high, right? Their standard of living will be high because they are comfortable. They are living in a safe and secure environment, which puts their minds at rest, right? And the last one, access to affordable and quality healthcare. Again, if there's easy access and healthcare is very affordable, again, people's SOL will be high because they can treat their ailments easily, and it's not going to put a huge debt on their finance. It's going to put a huge debt in their pocket, a huge dent in their pocket, so to speak. Right? Right, guys. So we good? We got it? Adonai? Kevin, you got that?
Yeah.
Nice. How? Miguel, you got that, right? Miguel?
Everybody go on.
They gone? They left?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, again, my phone wasn't touching properly.
All right, good. Excellent. All right, guys. Well, that brings our session to an end. Let me just say, it was fun. We got a lot done. We covered 125. We covered 2 questions, 2 major questions in question 7. Those are the harder ones that people tend to run away from. We answered those. What I want to say to you guys is be safe. Continue to keep yourself safe. Do not go out. You all know what we're facing right now. And I want you all to be safe. I want to see everybody healthy and safe when we beat this thing and we come back out in full force.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
guys.
sir. Thank you.
Have a
Yes,
blessed
sir.
day.
You too, sir.
You be safe.
Of course. And you guys stay safe. We'll chat. And you guys have me on WhatsApp. So if any questions come up, please let me know. All right?
Okay,
Yes, sir.
sir.
All right. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.